Alrighty. Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Let's minimize that. Let's see what do we do here. We'll go like this. Strings in CERN. That's what we're doing this week. It's strings at CERN. And so this is the lunch break right now. They're putting grease on the accelerator or something. I don't know. Anyhow, let's go over to there instead. There we go. Let's move that stuff off the page too. Let's move that off the page. There we are. And let's go to the dollar index. Oh, and let me get the chat line up too at the same time. Let's do the dollar index. Where is the dollar index? I saw where the election definitely put a little charge into the old South African rand. It's back up into the 19s. It's like, whoopsie daisy. Whoopsie daisy. Let's see, where am I looking for here? There it is. There's the dollar index right there. You see it's kind of stalled out, going sideways in that weekly sell. Let me think what else we're doing here. Let's remove that. Let's see. Let's go to. Let's see. There's Ducoscopy. Click on that so we can see the chat line. Let's see. Okay, let's skip that. And there I am. There I am. All right. And so you can see, I don't see anybody on the chat line yet. It's Monday. Talk about being busy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I've been busy. CERN started Strings 2024. Kept me active from I guess it would be 3 o'clock your time to now. We're on lunch at the moment, which is really good. They break for lunch and I can do my webinar at the same time. So that's pretty cool. What else do we got going on here? So there's the dollar index. Stock market did a roar. Let's go check that out again. There's the stock market on Friday. Look at that move. It was almost 1,000-point move in the Dow. In this case here on the S&P 500 was from 5,205 or something like that. I think it was at the low. The low was 6, right? I thought it was 5, but there's 575. It's almost 6. 5,206 basically, and ran up to on Friday. It ran up to 5,307. So it was like a 101-point move in the S&Ps. Big swing and a miss. Bada. So it was like the end of the month, or who knows? The Fed came in. We were saying over and over that unfortunately the Federal Reserve is this political entity now, which is not a good thing. We need to change that. Right now the world is somewhat bankrupt, but sooner or later they won't be, and then they're going to start moving their money in different directions. Interesting article today talking about money and bonds and moving their money. The Chinese are having a real problem selling bonds right now, and that's it's not good for a country that's trying to get more industrialized. You need to, do it through investment. You can't keep on borrowing forever. You got to have profits. Profits is the mother's milk of finance, basically. And when you don't have profits, it really makes it very, very tough. Let's see. Okay, that's fine. Now, what else can we say about the dollar index? And you can see there's the stock market, enormously firm, and today it's still hovering in and out. It's trying to, figure out what they want to do. And so I guess, from this point, we go over and we look at it and we go, okay, the dollar is, interest rates. Hey, Robin. The interest rates are kind of trapped, and the Federal Reserve is trying to, prop up the administration. and they want to lower interest rates. They would love to be able to lower those interest rates in July or September. July would be better for them. At least it wouldn't look so political, as much as we know it's political. But if they don't lower them in July, then the market's going to be like, oh man, basically they're going to be trying to find ways to justify what they've been doing. That's the problem, is that trying to justify. Join us. Let's see. There we are. So. Okay. Let's see. What else can we say? We are trying to say things are really sloppy and bad. That's what I'm trying to say. I understand Trump is talking about. First of all, Trump talk about money. He brought in over $200 million in donations since last Thursday. Now, $200 million, and 30% of it was from people who have never donated money ever to politics. The country's really upset about this lawfare they're doing now, using the law, twisting the law, trying to lock people up for their thoughts. It's like the thought police. Trump has to be locked up because they don't like what he thinks. It's like, well, the majority of this country believes what he thinks. So basically now it's getting weirder and weirder. What else can we say about any of that? I guess go over and take a look at the euro. We've been rambling for about 7 minutes now. Let's go look at the euro and see what's going on there. And there's the euro. Kind of same situation. They don't, it's kind of sideways. It's in the weekly buy. It's trying to go back into the daily buy today. There's not a lot of, conviction. That's what the words we used to say all the time. Not a lot of conviction to, and that's a real challenge. It really is. It's really tough, and when money doesn't know which way to go, and at the same time you have billions and billions of dollars sitting on the sidelines saying we need to invest, really makes it even more crazier. It really does. So that's where we stand there. Let me think. What else do we have here? Let me try that again. Let's see. All right. From the euro, since there's no questions, we'll go over to the cable. Let's see what the cable's up to today. And there's the cable right there. Again, another situation where it's trying to climb into the buy. It's in the weekly buy, but I just don't see that conviction. I just don't see the conviction. What else can we say? Let's see. Okay, we can answer that one. Let's see. There we go. All right. So if the cable and the euro are not moving, I wonder what the Swiss is doing. The Swiss, they're fighting the inflation, and it's gaining. It's showing a little bit more strength than the other two against the dollar. And you can see we slid into the weekly sell last week right there. Let's see if we can grab a weekly sell and move it over. Come on, there must be a weekly sell in there somewhere. There's one. Let's steal that. Move it down to there. So they're feeling pretty good. I'd imagine they would be too. I mean, they're fighting inflation very comfortably. The currency is holding up very well through it. And what did I saw something. I was reading about the elections in South Africa, and they referred to the move from 18 to 19 as a crash. And I thought to myself, my God, how do they, I wonder how they talk about it in Turkey every day. Do they say, today our currency, we can see that currency go from 34 to 35 or 35 to 35, 99 or 34 to 36 or 34 to 32. If it's a crash from 18 to 19, what do they call what they do in Turkey? I really caught my eye on that one. I was thinking, wow, that's really tough, Let's see. And so, there we go. So, let's try this. There we go. Alrighty. Now, from the the Swiss franc, I guess we'll drift over to the yen. Did find a great article. We talked about it. How they were the Federal Reserve seems to be trying to help the Japanese, trying to find some way to stabilize them. So let's take a look at the currency there this morning. And there is the answer to that right there. It's now what's interesting is it did make it into the weekly sell last week. You can see that, bang, like that. And now look at the move it's making this morning, and it's down still at the same time. But what's up with that punch on the upside? Look at that. They don't have a lot of comfort level. Let's see, where's it? There we go. No, that's not it. Oh, okay. I see. That's what it is. All right. And so from what is that? That is the yen. You can see it's on that upwardly slope. You think that, where you see the red dot there. Let me point that out. Where you see that right there, you would think, well, maybe that's the B. And this was the A right there. So this is like A, and this is the B, and then they'll come back down again. Try to make try to do something of that nature, But so far, it's just been the same. It just seems to be they're in trouble, and they don't seem to be able to, basically, be able to change it. It seems like it's, it's just not. What's the word I'm looking for? They're not able to get it rolling. They're just not able to get it rolling whatsoever. And so you can see that the politics has got the country tangled up. They don't know how to get out of that problem. They're so used to being in that environment for so long, where the LDP has been running things for so long that they haven't been able to. They've removed ministers, and we've seen the currency go from like 105 to 160 basically. So it's not exactly doing. It's not good. Let's put it that way. It's definitely not good. All right, there we go. Let's see. Something's wrong there. Just double check that. Let me just change this around here. That's not it. And that's not it. That's it right there. So let's do that. Let's just put that right there. So. If we don't, if they can't get out of their political situation, and God knows we're really in trouble with the South African rand at this point. That was such a good tool measuring, being able to measure the metals against it. But at this point in time, we're in a situation now where those days seem to be gone. The country is really turning upside down. I mean, it's the elections. I've been trying to understand the elections, and right now the elections are looking. Well, the ANC really got its head handed to it, and so with the ANC not being able to be the leader as much, they have to have a what they call a what do you call it when you have a coalition government, and it doesn't look like they can team up with the left side of it because what it really comes down to is that the left side is so negative. They want to basically nationalize everything. They want to export all the white people. They want to take all their property. I mean, it's like Germany, 1933, all over again for a large slice of the population. So, it's really turning into one ugly adventure. I can tell you that. Let's see, like that, and then let's see. There we go. All right, so that is the yen. Now we're going to go over to the South African rand, and like I said, when they talked about it crashing in the articles, it was like, wow, how did they even describe what's going on with this? But look at it. It's doing a pretty decent job. It's bouncing between the 34. I want to say, what's that? The 34.50 area to the 35 area. It's really locked itself into a pretty safe range, which would be considered a crash down there. But this thing has really chilled out, which is nice. It's nice to see that the whole thing is moving right along the line. There we are. There we go. There we are. All right. So, from there, let's see. I guess we'll go to the South African rand now. We'll see, what dilemma is going on there. The idea from 18 to 19 doesn't sound too bad because I thought it was like at 18.20. So, and after, you see here, they're not even showing a 19. They're showing an 18. The article, it's 18.9. It's basically 18.90, and you can see here it's backed off. More. It's amazing. We've talked about this here too. Is that it's the talking heads nowadays don't seem to recognize the actual events and what's going on. They seem to be oblivious of it. They really do. And it's very strange. See, it didn't make it into the weekly buy. It just missed it by the hair of its chinny chin chin. Now, this week, it looks like it's going to climb into the weekly buy. So, so that's pretty much where it comes down to at this point. There we go. All right. What else do we got going on here? I guess we can go from there. We try to do what we always have done, and that is we look at the metals complex. And let's go over to here. There it is right there. There's gold. Gold's trying to perk up a little bit as South African rand is going down again, so that's okay. It was reflecting the politics. Don't really, they're going to be putting together this coalition government. They have about another 12 days to do it, or 10 days. That'll be interesting to see. I'm thinking that they're going to lean in towards the capitalist side, not the socialist side. Now, what has happened basically is the ANC, which no more than, I guess, 2 elections back, got 70% of the country. Now they're down a little underneath 40%. And what has taken that 30% is some radical groups. So they're starting to form up more of a capitalist side again. Unfortunately, during Nelson Mandela and the rest of them, they all moved into the socialist Marxist universe. And that's why the country is getting ready to fall apart, which is really freaky. And it's been falling apart, but now it's getting worse. Their homicide rate is really high. It's sad because we were using that currency to be able to understand the metals complex. So it's made it very hard. Now that we have, platinum and gold are their biggest exports, and the ANC is trying to merge with a group that had 22% of the vote that makes sense. In other words, they believe in capitalism and merit and all that stuff. So I guess they're starting to go towards the LDP. Thank goodness, because a good 30% of the ANC wants to move towards the Russian-China model. They want a dictatorship. So it's going to be very tough. They want to nationalize confiscate all properties, and then they want to distribute it to the poor. And then and then they literally kill the people. It's like weird stuff, very weird. They didn't do it to the ANC when the South African government did not do that to the ANC, but somehow the ANC thinks it's just fine to do it to the population. And then we go over to, let's take a look at let's see if I can find it here. What is that? No. What is that? Launching that. No, we want to move that out of the way too. Let's try moving that out of the way. I've got strings up there that's getting everything going at the same time, so we'll move that over to there, to CERN also. And then we're trying to get the other one too. Let's find that. There it is right there. And let's take this and move that over to there. There is the, let's put gold in there. There's gold. I'm going to see what's going on in the beta. A couple days in the cell, and then when we can see it here, let's see if we can do that. See it right there, it's days in the cell also. And, it tried to pop up, but this did not make it into the buy. And this did. It went into the buy. I guess it's right there. And then the next day was up, and then they pushed it into the cell here, but you can see it's going in the opposite direction. You see the weekly is trying to turn up, which is interesting. Over here you can see it's getting close, but nowhere near what the beta is showing us. All right, and then from there, let's see how that goes. There we are. See what it says here. I got an email. I want to double check what that's saying here. Okay. Good. And let's see what this one says. Change from, okay. All right, perfect. All good there now. We are all good there. So the gold, showing a little strength this morning, but still in the sell. So it's not able to really do much lifting whatsoever. Over on the silver, where's the silver at? Right there, there's silver. Silver went into the sell. What is it? That's today. And you see it's the second day in a sell, but the weekly is so much stronger than the gold. I remember seeing an article saying they thought that, I remember talking about it about 2 weeks ago, said that silver seems comfortable over the $30 area. And boy, we've seen throughout the last couple of years where it could not get past 25 or 26 without falling back down into the teens, like 18, 19. But it does seem like at this point silver is comfortable in that area again, which is really nice. Now, let's see what else we got going on here. From there, we'll go over to copper. Copper, same way. You can see the pressure on it. It's trying to bounce up a little bit. And it did fall in the weekly sell last week right there. Is that being seen? Right there. We went into the weekly sell. And now it's trying to climb back up into the weekly buy. And the articles I've been reading out of China, they're stuck in a stall also. They're stalled and they don't know how to what's the word I'm looking for here? Audio. Okay. They just don't know how to get out of their problems. They're trying to float bonds. They're trying to bail out their real estate market, and there's not a lot of hunger for their money right now. In other words, their debt. People are starting to lose confidence that they can get their game together. That's what the problem is. They've done so many foolish things. When you have $11 billion in debt and you have like a $45 million payment and you have $11 billion in debt and they can't find $45 million and they allow it to go into bankruptcy, someone doesn't understand free markets and capitalism whatsoever. So, the communists, excuse me, sorry about that. The communists are trying to, be an industrialized nation, but Marxism doesn't work real well with industrialized concepts. It's more for like what's the best way to describe it? I guess you could say it's kind of like more for like a hippie world, where you're like living on a commune and it's run very locally, but you can't. Communism and Marxism doesn't work on a national level. If it did, we'd the CCCP would be here. The Soviet Union would be here. China wouldn't be in such debt. I think they're like 3 times more in debt than we are. In other words, they've been burning money up that they don't have to spend. So, but in the end result is that it's very hard to see them try to go into the open capital markets and try to get borrow money, and they're having to pay high interest rates, or people are just not nibbling on the bonds to begin with, and they don't they're like, I don't understand. It's like, guess what? You've allowed major corporations in Hong Kong to go bankrupt just because you can't find 25 or 35 or 50 million dollars, and they're multi-billion dollar corporations. Same thing in the mainland. They're not able to bail out the simplest situations, and they've declared bankruptcy. Probably thinking, good, now we won't have to pay. It's like, you know what? In capitalism, people remember that you don't pay, and so they don't buy next time. Yep, that's what the problem is there. So, all right, and then let's go over and take a look at platinum. That's how we feel about the copper. We always think of China when we deal with that. And there is platinum, and it's a couple of days in a sell, but it's still in that weekly buy. And as we always like to say, that is the most dangerous short in the world. With gold trading in the 2400 area or the 2300 area, either way, that's an awful scary spot to try to short platinum. I know it's high up and so forth, but if they don't take it down, there's not much of a chance that they're going to. Yep. All right. From there, we're going to drift over to... Where do we go from there? There you go. We're going to go to the beta, look at silver. And there's silver. You can see that's 3 days in the sell. And at the same time, they're still battling along, staying in that weekly buy compared to the gold, who's been in the weekly sell for a couple of weeks and now is trying to battle its way into the buy. Let's take a look at copper there on the beta. You see that's days and days in a sell and 2 weeks in a sell. And then last but not least, we go over to the platinum. You see all that buying there.
Talk a bit about my work in this amazing place.
Excuse me.
I'm gonna
I think I'll take a cough drop.
Talking about the third paper on this list from April of this year with Thomas Mertes and Jacopo Papalini.
Let's see.
But also a shout out to Shunyu, who worked a lot.
I think you're hearing strings in the background.
This topic in the past year.
Let's see if we can lower the volume
the
on
clock
that.
is not running, by the way.
Out of Zurich.
Which is maybe good.
Or CERN, I guess you could say CERN. CERN. Let's
So
go like
I'm
this.
going to
Let's
be
go
talking
escape here.
about the gravitational dual of double skill SYK.
There it is.
As most of you probably know, SYK model is a system consisting of n Majorana fermions with the following Hamiltonian. Now for low energies, this model is described by Schwarzschild quantum mechanics, which somewhat famously is dual to
we'll give you a flavor of what I'm staring at for a second here.
And I think it's fair to say that this duality has taught us many important lessons about how the
that's what we're working on the other screen. There's CERN in the picture there.
So much, I guess we'll spend an hour talking about
let's
it.
go back to the markets. Let me see if I can shut this down for a little bit.
Wonder, is there also some tractable holographic dual to SYK
audio
for all energies? Now, as it turns out,
let's see, like that. Let's see if this does it. Are you going to be listening to string theory? Yep, there we go. Alrighty. You are free of string theory now. Okay, so from there, there's the platinum. Oh, and I know we're doing this. Let's go like that. There we go. Again, there's the platinum, and you can see the weekly. The daily's all jumbled, solely because it's. I think they're trying to show us the. This is the July contract we're following, but I think they're still showing us the June contract, so it's very illiquid at this point. Let's go over to crude oil, and there's crude. You see the little pressure we've been constantly seeing on crude oil, and you see the downwardly drift. You see 3 days in a cell there. And you can see it's, what is that, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks now in a cell. And let's put it up on the screen here. Right there, there we go. You see 3 days in a cell there. And you can see the same thing with the weeks upon weeks. Excuse me. I got a cough drop in there now. It should stop this coughing. Excuse me. So you see here the you see that the weeklies have been very consistently and moving down, and then from there we shoot over to what do we shoot over to? We go to natural gas. Oh no, I know what it is. We go over to Brent. Let's go check out Brent. There's Brent right there. And there's Brent. You see it looks the same way. 3 days in a cell. Right there, heading for a 4th day at this point. And almost 9 full weeks now in a cell. And it came down off of the high 80s, low 90s. Oh, Trump was out at the UFC. He's a character. Yeah. All right. He's going to be the next president of the United States again. Be number 45 and 47. That'll be pretty cool. From there, we go over to natural gas now. You can see here natural gas is trying to turn up right there. You see that? And we have that same thing going on over here. See the natural gas trying to lift up. You can see the weekly. Same thing. And it's been in that. I'm surprised we don't have the weekly buy in there. Let's put that weekly buy in there. There we go. And it's been that weekly buy for, that's 5 weeks, and this is going on a 6th week now. Let's just take a look at the beta again. Yeah, same thing here. There's 5 full weeks going on a 6th week. All right, and then from there, we're going to slip over to the energy company down in Spain, right there. You see that thing keeps on hovering between the 24.5 and 25. See, it wasn't daily buys. It's pushing itself into the daily sell for a second day. Going on a third day, I guess, now. And you can see the weekly is trying to roll over. It's very close. Very, very close. We'll see how that plays out over the next 2 days. Yeah. Huh. Trump just said he's okay with jail. House arrest. That's amazing. You know, we've got a political party here in the United States trying to put its opponent in jail with no understanding of law. They still can't tell us what Trump is guilty of. That's the most, they call it the hush trial. And they can't tell us what crime he has, what felony he has done. They charged him with 32 or 34 felonies, but they can't write it in English to tell us what it is. They just keep on saying he's just guilty. And it only took 4 out of 12 people to find him guilty. That's even weirder. Can you imagine that? I was saying it last week too. 4 out of 12 made him guilty. The other 8 can, just not do anything at all. That's fascinating. All right. So that's the energy company down in Spain. We would be happy to see this thing find its way back into the 22s, but I don't think we're going to see that. All right. That's pretty much the look on the energy sector. So from there, we might as well go look at how the stock indices are starting the week, because that was one heck of an explosion on Friday, and we'll show you that. And let's look at the Nikkei this morning. Where are you? You're around here somewhere. There it is. And there's Friday. You see they jacked it up there too. It put a lot of push into that. And you see it's up firm again today. And you can see it was in a weekly buy from last week, and it's trying to stay in there this week already. Ding, 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 ding. What's this? All right. So from there, we'll zip over to go to the Kospi. I understand they're floating balloons. Chinese are floating balloons or something like that. Doing some weird stuff over there. Or the North Koreans are, maybe? I don't know. They're doing the same thing as the Chinese did over here in the States. You see 10 full weeks now on the weekly sell on the Kospi. It was moving up, then it failed and started to roll over. And, that was in a sell, that whole move up. And you see most of it was in a sell there from, what is that? That's the 8th of May. So basically it started going into the sell here, and it just drifted down for a long while. And then you got the 2 pop up here and right back into the sell again. So the shorts have been really good sells. Taiwan. Let's check out Taiwan. There it is right there. The chip world. You see here, it's been selling off for the last 3 days. Today they're starting to firm it up. And you can see we've been in a weekly buy for 5 full weeks now. 6 full weeks. Getting ready to go into the 7th week. We'll see how that is tomorrow. From there we drift over to, since we're so close to the mainland China, we just jump into Shanghai. Right there, there's Shanghai. Shanghai's been showing that weakness. Still, they're not reacting to the crazy move we had on Friday here. On the upside, it was an explosive move. And you can see here, this is going on a 3rd week of a sell, looks like. And again, there's some really tough stories out there for China at the moment. And they're really showing their weakness in understanding the capital markets. And then you can see here's the Philippines. It's tried to bounce up from that. And yesterday, Friday, they bounced up too. And it's trying to get into the buy there on the daily with no problem. And you can see the weekly is trying to updraft. It's 2 weeks in the sell. And we'll see how it acts on Tuesday. And then from there, we jump back over to China. And we go to the Hang Seng that does understand capital markets. Right there. You see it's been pushing down for the last couple of weeks. A lot of selling there. You can see that there. Just a couple of buys and then back in the sell again. And you can see it's closed in the weekly sell last week. And I can imagine with this type of action, we'll see a little bit more weakness tomorrow to start this week off. Oh man, they got some interesting things going on there. I'm looking at the workshop out of CERN this morning. All right, and from there we're going to go to the Singapore Straits Times. Can't wait to get back to the physics. Let's see, where are you? STI. STI. There it is, right there. There's the Singapore Straits Times. They're lifting up with no problem, and they seem to keep on climbing. And I would imagine, since money can't go to Hong Kong much anymore, they barely want to trust Shanghai. If they can't trust Hong Kong, they definitely can't trust Shanghai. That's the worst part about it all. They're really wrecking their own capital markets that they've tried to build. It's not a good thing. And you can see here, the weekly's been in a weekly buy for 8 weeks. The daily has been in a daily buy for, 10? Going on 11 days. There's 3, there's 6, there's 10, 11 days. There are 11 days in a daily buy. Talk about some action, ACTION, you know. And then from there, let's take a look at the All Ordinaries out of Australia. Closing the daily buy there, right there. It's trying to climb up. You see it's 4 full weeks now on a buy, waiting for tomorrow's numbers. To see, what the math will tell us at the close of the night. So we'll be able to show it to you tomorrow. And then from there we'll go to the Nifty 50. I understand that the Prime Minister there is looks like he's landing his 3rd victory. Looks like he's going to win with no problem. Let's see. We'll find it here in a second. The Nifty fit. There it is, right there, right above the ordinaries. You see that's 5 days in a sell. But look at that gap with the election popping that thing up. And you can see it's been in a weekly sell for 2 weeks. That's why we had this pressure coming down like that. And we'll see if they shove it into the weekly buy this week, starting off the week. It'll be interesting to see. Yeah. From there, we're going to head over to Europa. Here's the Stokes 500. You see it closed in a weekly buy. You can see the daily closed in a buy. And you can see that they're trying to lift this thing back up after just 1 week in a sell. So Europe is looking relatively firm there. We'll go to the DAX. DAX should jump out somewhere. There it is right there. There's the DAX. You see it's leaping up to catch that move of the U.S. markets and a daily buy with no problem. And it's been in a weekly buy for 5 weeks. And now let's show you the S&P 500. You know, here it is in the States. Same situation. You can see this demonstrative move yesterday going from 5,200 to 5,300. And closing in a buy. It's going into a buy today, and at the same time, we have 4 full weeks in a buy. And it looks like we'll see how we should be going into a 5th with no problem with that type of action. Now we'll go back to France and Europe, and just wanted to show you how U.S. market's doing the same exact thing. Now let's go find, there it is right there. There's the Paris market, and it's up. And you can see the same thing here. You know, it's trying to climb up with no problem. But the weekly's still in the sell, but then that's the close of last week. We're still waiting for the close of this week, or the beginning of this week. All right, and then from there, we'll go to the FTSE, which has been cruising around all-time highs. And you can see it's 8 weeks in a buy. And there's the all-time highs right up in here. And we're second day. This is going on. Yeah, see, this is the second day in a buy at this point. They're pushing it up nicely. See it right there. Pushing it up. Yeah. And then at the same time, the weekly, 8 weeks in a buy, and it'll be 9 probably starting off tomorrow or tonight. Late tonight, we'll see it on the update. From there, we're going to go to the NASDAQ 100, the Tech 100 on Dukascopy's J4X. Right there. You see it trying to climb up. It's been in a sell for 3 days. And it's been in a weekly buy for 4 weeks, trying to go into a 5th. So they really put pressure on the tech stocks. I watched the ARC just because the stock has gone from like $165 down to $45, and so when you have that dramatic drop, that catches my eye. I always want to see what it's doing and how it's playing out. So, what else can we say about that? I guess that's about it. So from there, we're going to go look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. You can see there's that monster move from almost the 38,250 area, or 200 area, up to the 39,000. Nice daily buy for second day, and it closed in a weekly sell last week. So it's going to be fighting. It's going to be fighting with those numbers at this point. Definitely going to be an interesting battle. And that's the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Then from there, we'll go over to the Russell, the most speculative of the stock indices we pay attention to here in the States. It's like the old NASDAQ. Now the NASDAQ is so legitimate with all the major corporations in it. Right there. There we are. All right, you can see there. This product is 4 full weeks on a buy, waiting to see how they go for today and to start the week. And you can see it's been a daily buy for 2 days. You can see that strength there. And as much as they knocked it down into the low 19s back in April, here we are in June now, flirting with 6-month highs. Not bad. All right, and then let's take a look at the cash Bitcoin itself. You can see it's lifting up very firm today, right there. And it's been in a weekly buy for 4 weeks compared to that excuse me, GBTC. Where's that? The ETF. We follow the ETF here, but there it is right there. You see, this is going on it finished off a 3rd week in a buy, and it's still in the daily sell. So the Bitcoin itself it charts very well compared to the ETF. See if we can find it again on here. There it is right there. Yeah, it's right there. Okay. Now from there, we inch our way over to, we got all the stock indices done. Let's take a quick look at some of the grains. And we're going to take a look at corn, wheat, and soybeans. And cocoa. There's cocoa. Take a look at cocoa. Cocoa has been looking very firm for like 10 days now, and 2 full weeks in a buy. Let's see, who else we got over here? There is soybeans. Let's take a look at soybeans. Soybeans, 5 days in a sell. And you can see last week closed in a sell. Here's corn. Here's July corn. You see that? Also same way, 5 full days in a sell. And you can see this is going on a 2nd week of a sell. Interesting, the beta is pushed into a sell. Whereas the on this platform right here, let's see if we can show it to you. Corn is just going into the weekly sell. Here, let's see if we can put it up on the screen. Let's see, right, July corn. ZC, right there. Yeah, see, oh, it did. It closed last week in a sell too. Same way. Okay, that makes sense. And so we have soybeans too doing the same thing. No, soybeans are trying to go into the sell. That's what it is right there. Okay. And then we'll take a look at wheat, see what the wheat looks like. There's coffee while I'm looking for the wheat. It's been in buys and looks like they're trying to back it off a little bit here. And it's trying to climb. It closed in a weekly buy last week. Wheat. Show you the wheat and we'll be out of here. It's around here somewhere. There it is right there. And there's the wheat. 8 weeks in a buy. It went into a close in a daily buy. And it's been, it wasn't a sell for 5 days since here. All right, traders. We're out of here, but let's figure out what we're going to, call this title today. I would say that the bond market I'd say foreign bond markets. Foreign bond markets. Bond market looks weak. There we go. That's the title there. All right, traders, this is Doc from North America. We will catch you tomorrow, same time, same channel. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, later, traders. Ta-ta for now.